Hello, my name is Mercury, and welcome to this brand new episode of Media FA. Today, I am alone. Today, I'll be discussing the first trailer for the first Toho Godzilla movie in this decade. I would say, Godzilla Minus One. So yeah, like I said, this is the first Godzilla movie made by Toho this decade. Not the first Godzilla movie in general this decade, but. I digress. So yeah. This movie. I don't know what to say. Just this movie got announced. Like I think leaked a few months ago. I haven't really kept up with Toho Godzilla in a bit. No, we knew there was a Godzilla movie coming out this year in November for the 69th anniversary. It would be, 69th. Yes, next year's gonna be the 70th. So, yeah, 70 years of Godzilla, which. Godzilla's one of the longest running franchises, I think, of all time. It's only I think it's one of the longest running franchises of all time, and it's still going on strong to this day. I guess Superman 2, Superman, Batman, all those people, but like a DC in general. But Godzilla is the first one that was originally a movie that is still going on. So yeah, Minus One is going to be the first venture to 2020 Godzilla, and I'm interested to see where it goes. The trailer is only 35 seconds, and it shows very little, but it shows promise. The trailer shows a lot of promise for this new iteration of Godzilla, because I'm gonna be frank with you. I think Toho has been dropping the ball a lot in these with their iterations of Godzilla. In reality, it's the American side, the MonsterVerse, that's really picking it up with Godzilla. In the 2020s. Because next year we're getting Godzilla x Kong: The New Empire. We're also gonna get a Godzilla series sometime in the future. I don't know when. Probably 2024 as well. What is this there? So yeah, there's gonna be a live action series. So Toho has made some stuff in the past for Godzilla. They made Shin Godzilla, the first movie since Final Wars. And I've watched Final Wars, and I do like Final Wars. Do not fight me on my opinions of Final Wars. But yeah, okay, so Godzilla in general, right now made by Toho, has been in a very rough spot. So it's not been great for It's not been great for Godzilla and Toho. They made Shin Godzilla, they made Godzilla Planet, they made the anime trilogy, the Polygon trilogy, as I like to call it. Then they made Singular Point, which was the anime series, which fucking hell. And now there's a minus one. Now all of those movies, Shin Godzilla, Polygon trilogy, and Singular Point, also all these movies have been animated, which I'm glad Godzilla's finally getting back to animation. But all of those movies that have come out by Toho, they suck. Like, they suck so much ass, right? Shin Godzilla, I probably have to rewatch it. I have the DVD for Shin Godzilla. I probably should rewatch it before I make my opinions on it. Shin Godzilla was the movie that kind of started. I think it started the Shin trend in the first film. It was the first one on Shin Japan Heroes Universe. What the hell? An ongoing collaborative project between Toho, Kara, Subaraya, and Toei, developed by Hideaki Anno. It unites 4 of the critically acclaimed movies. The Shin series. Which then was then followed by Evangelion 3.0 plus 1.0 Thrice Upon a Time. Just call it 4.0. And then Shin Ultraman. And finally, Shin Kamen Rider. Which is the latest one. Yeah. So, Hideaki Anno is doing this, but Shin Godzilla, I like the concept of Shin Godzilla. Like, it's good. What? It's good. Like I like the concept of Shin Godzilla. It's a good concept, but it just I don't know. I just didn't like it all that much. It just did. I don't know. Just I didn't like it. It kind of bored me. I didn't like how Godzilla wasn't that like active. But I get the intention of the movie. It's sort of a what if Godzilla didn't show up in the 50s and instead showed up in modern times, 2016 in this case. But yeah, I get the intention, but I'm not saying it was good. Anyways, next up is the Polygon trilogy, which is Planet of the Monsters, Sitting on the Edge of Battle, and Planet Eater, and all of them progressively get worse. Like Planet of the Monsters. It's boring, but it's fine. I guess the ending is good. I would say the ending doesn't make up for it. The ending, the ending of the movie, is okay. I guess like it serves as a Godzilla ending, and I like it. Yeah, I guess, you know. But City on the Edge of Battle, forgettable. By the way, just forgettable. All these movies are 1 hour and 30 minutes, around that, of just forgettable nonsense. Don't ask me. The only thing people remember of these movies are like the fights, the quote unquote fight scenes. I'll probably talk about, I don't know if I want to. If I'm gonna make an episode minus one, I might as well make an episode on the rest of the Regular era. I have all of them are available. For me to watch, you know. Like I'm not gonna have a problem with Shin Godzilla. The ones I'm gonna have a problem with is like Showa. I have most of Millennium. I'm missing 2 from Millennium. But I have watched Godzilla Minus Gears. I know that. Okay. So what was I gonna say? Okay. So, Setting Edge of Battle ends the exact same way as Planet of the Monsters, and they introduce the Scarlet Godzilla, and it does nothing. Like it's just a more power. It's just a bullshit way to get Godzilla to win. Like Godzilla in these movies doesn't do anything. It's mostly on the humans, and the humans are boring as fuck, and I don't like them. And then we have Planet Eater. Motherfucker Planet Eater. Planet Eater is I've said this before. I think on the podcast. Maybe if I not, then I said something to my friends, which are podcast, you know, people. Planet Eater is the worst movie I have ever seen. It tops Eternals. It is the worst movie I've ever seen in my life. I watched it for my birthday when it came out, and it was the worst experience of my life. It felt like the movie went on for 3 hours. That's how boring it was. And it promised King Ghidorah versus Godzilla, and we did not get King Ghidorah versus Godzilla. We got, oh my god, we got something. We got, like, you could. Okay. You could. You're gonna get every Godzilla fan hyped to see King Ghidorah versus Godzilla. Like, that is easy money for any Godzilla fan. You put King Ghidorah in a movie, you put King Ghidorah in a Godzilla movie. Easy money. People will, like, fans will go to see that. And in this movie, you give us one of the worst fights in the Godzilla franchise. I would even call it a fight. I mean, I'm probably gonna go back there with just like little thoughts. Fuck this movie, dude. Fuck this movie. And then we have Singular Point. Son of a bitch, Singular Point. Nonsensical. Completely nonsensical. I like it. I liked it when, like, they brought back a bunch of monsters that people, I think, wouldn't really have thought about, like, bringing, like, they wouldn't have thought about bringing it back, and I'm kind of glad they brought it back here. But oh my god, the wasted potential of the series is applaudable. It's applaudable how much there is in this series. And it isn't even a Godzilla series. It's not a Godzilla series. Godzilla doesn't show up until, I want to say, like 6 episodes in. And then he becomes the main antagonist. And I like the fact that other monsters that, do stuff. But yeah, also a bunch of the monsters are just like renamed. They're like redesigns of old monsters, but they're new monsters as well. I don't get it. Just make them the old monsters. What? I don't think the license for Gabara is that big. I don't think that license is as big as people think. Also, it is a crime, an actual crime, that Planet Eater is 60%, sure, it's 5 reviews, 60% over Godzilla King of the Monsters, which is 42 on Rotten Tomatoes. That's a crime. Like actually. Also, I love the fact that Godzilla 1998 has 19%, which deserved. I almost fell asleep to that movie. I'll be real with you. Also, how the fuck does Return of Godzilla have 27%? What the fuck? Oh, but just all monsters attack. Oh, 25%. How is that lower than? How does that have lower than 1998? How higher? I don't know, man. How's that higher than God? That's lower than Return of Godzilla. I don't know. Just it has impressed me. You have other media, television. Oh my god, singular point. Motherfucker, singular point. Oh, I hated this thing. It sucked. I like the animation, but it gets jarring at some point. But yeah, just Toa's dropped the ball. I think I've gone on long enough about how I don't like the direction Toa took Godzilla. I get what they were going for here, but I think that if they want to make it a bit more interesting for me, like I think for most of these movies, I think it would have been better if Godzilla was more active. Like Shin Godzilla, I get. Like that was, it's experimental. I feel like Shin Godzilla was experimental. It was its own thing. But Shin Godzilla was so popular in Japan. Like it was really, really popular in Japan. That now both the anime trilogy, the Godzilla Polygon trilogy, and Singular Point just took the immobility of Shin Godzilla and slapped it on there. In Singular Point, they just straight up ripped off a Shin Godzilla scene. Like, it was a straight rip-off of Shin Godzilla. I just want a good Godzilla anime, please. Godzilla has so much potential with like animation, and they just don't do it. Like in Godzilla the series, the one from the 1990s. It works. So yeah, just So now, but in this movie, just going away from the animation. Just I want, please, Toho. now that you're doing this with Godzilla Minus One, where Godzilla looks more active, it looks like he's gonna be doing more Godzilla stuff like he was beforehand when he was a suit, like fucking Final Wars, and like when Godzilla was more active and it wasn't as boring to look at. If you're going back to that, like, or doing what the MonsterVerse is doing, please do more. Please do this for anime. It has so much potential. Like even like Godzilla's appearance in the Hatsune Miku fucking train movie. That's a thing. I forgot its name. But that, just please give us something. Just give us something that's good. But this movie has potential. Like, Godzilla Minus One has potential to be to sort of put the Toho Godzilla movies back on track with being much more like they were in the Millennium series, or even Heisei, where Godzilla was on a fucking brick. But yeah, just making it more, I guess, in line with that. And I'm fine with there being two iterations of Godzilla that are pretty active, because Godzilla in the MonsterVerse is much more of a hero, right? Now, I mean, Godzilla vs. Kong, of course, he was attacking, but that was it had a reason. It doesn't usually attack. But he's much more of a hero type character. He is the like nature's balance, pretty much. In the MonsterVerse, he's nature's balance. So yeah, and then there's the Japanese ones, where now we have Toho with the destructive Godzilla, with the Godzilla that's much more destructive, more, I guess, it's active. He's active, but he's destructive. He's not like this citizen of nature, pretty much. Like, he's not like this knight of nature or a king of the like a true, like, what we would consider the king of the monsters. He is like a destructive force, and he is a villain. And these are two different versions of Godzilla, and I think they can both coexist. And I like that they're doing this, going in this direction. They're going a different direction for Godzilla. I think Minus One is gonna be like a one-off movie, but yeah, I heard that Toto's trying to make a Godzilla cinematic, like a Japanese Godzilla cinematic universe, which could be cool. But yeah, it looks interesting. Not much to say of the 35 second one trailer. What it looks like is that they're going back in time. Like, we're finally gonna get a Godzilla that isn't set in like modern times, by like what would be considered modern times. Like, I think we're going back to when the war was around, and this might be like, like immediately after the war. Like a few months, like they're trying to rebuild after the war, and then Godzilla shows up, which could be interesting to see how it's dealt with. I hope it's not dealt with as boringly as Shin Godzilla. I hope this is much more this is much more in line with what Godzilla was. But yeah, just I hope it's good. I really hope that this movie is good. I like the setting for the movie. I like the fact Godzilla's looks more active. He doesn't look like he's gonna be a brick. That's what I'm calling it, a brick. He's not gonna be a brick. And yeah, this looks promising. Like, finally we're getting a Godzilla movie. Like, more, okay, sure, it's 3 months from Godzilla vs. Godzilla X Kong, the New Empire. It's 3 months away from the New Empire. We're probably gonna get something on. I mean, I'm pretty sure New Empire will be delayed. Like, like, with the whole, like I mentioned before in the Libido trailer, with the whole like actor strike going on, I am pretty sure both the series and the New Empire will get delayed. %100 sure. It's gonna be delayed, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, hopefully this holds us. Toho won't have any problems with Toho. I don't think we'll have any problems with like with doing this movie, because the actor strike, because I think it's a different union. SAG-AFTRA, sure, I think it's international, but I think it's any movie, and I don't think it's international movies. I think it's just like big, it's the American. Yeah. So I don't. It's American. I don't think Toho have any problems with trying to like put this movie out. So yeah, just I hope this movie does well, is good, and revitalizes Godzilla in Japan for me. So yeah. That's about it. See y'all.